Yeah?
Good song.
Copyright.
Do you know what?
Okay.
Do you know what that was the intro for? Can you
What?
name the game that was the introduction for?
I don't know games.
Really?
Monopoly.
Did you ever play FIFA? FIFA 98.
I
That's the
don't
intro.
watch communist sports. Let me ask you this
You
question.
realize how many not
Let me ask
communist
you this
countries play
question.
soccer?
What is the only country in the world that doesn't really care about soccer? The United States, right?
I
What is
guess,
the
dude.
only country in the world that has put someone on the moon?
All I've been hearing about, like the last week, is the soccer stuff. The women's soccer and men's losing to Mexico soccer.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
anyways, yeah, we've been recording since you started playing that song, so that's going to and be our new intro.
Yeah.
And we'll probably get
gotta assume
copyright,
now that you're
so
always
good job.
recording.
Just
Appreciate
put
that.
it up a pitch. It's okay.
Right.
Yeah. So so we've got a special guest on today, Miss Allison Crowe, and we're basically I'm gonna shift this mic box over to her, and then Attaway's gonna interview her, and I'm gonna add in stuff.
I'm going to interview.
Hello.
So I got to get my crap together.
Huh?
So I got to get my crap together.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, so we're this is after hours. We're in the band hall at Prosper High School. This is after day 4 of the Pursuit of Music Brass Camp. Allison is a student that has attended this year. She plays trombone, and so anyway, Alice, you want to tell us a little? Allison, do you want to
Allison.
tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I have been attending Prosper High for all 4 years. I'm about to be a senior. I've been in the band for 3 years. I've been a student of Nobles, Mr. Nobles,
Yeah.
for all of those years.
She's one of those students you want to claim and be like, yeah, that one's mine. You can have the other 38.
So all of her problems are also your fault too.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I was first chair of the symphonic band my sophomore year, and I've been in the wind ensemble the past 2 years.
cool. And you decided that you were going to come to our camp.
Yes, sir.
So I'm curious. Tell us about your experience at the camp so far.
I feel it's a great experience to be exposed to so many different concepts of the brass world that you can't really get in a normal band setting, both marching and concert, because you're stuck with woodwinds and you have to be in a room with a bunch of other people that might not be at the same level as you. And here you're specifically auditioned for different classes and different ensembles, small group ensembles and same instrument ensembles. And I feel like that's an experience a lot of kids don't have the luxury of getting.
Right. Right.
I like how she said she's stuck with woodwinds.
Stuck with.
There's not a better way to say that. So.
That's true. That's true. The story of all of our lives.
Okay, so I want to take it day by day. So Monday, we got here and let's talk about the vibe of Monday. I don't know about you guys, but the vibe has changed day to day, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, Allison, tell us about Monday vibe, and we're going to go from there. And then you can tell us about Monday vibe, because I've got my opinions on it too. Anyway,
Okay.
go ahead.
Monday vibe, personally for me, I was extremely excited. But whenever I walked into the room, you could definitely differentiate some kids not really sure about what's about to happen, and the other kids who knew what was about to happen, and they were super excited. As soon as the classes started, warm up, different orchestral excerpts, kids started getting into the groove. Some of the middle schoolers being a bit immature, but they finally figured out what to do with their lives, and they
They're
shaped up.
constantly overcoming immaturity.
Yes, sir.
So what did you think? What did you think about the first day?
Well, people are always nervous. They're always.
Dude, I was nervous. I didn't sleep at all.
Well, I didn't
think I
either.
got 2 or
That's-
3 hours the night before.
I was on my couch the day before on that Sunday thinking, I feel like I've got everything figured out for the next day, and that unsettled me. So.
Because you had everything figured out, you were unsettled?
Yeah, because every other year I've been scrambling last minute, figuring out, last year we had a registration on Sunday night before the camp.
That's tough.
Yeah. When you're trying to get T-shirts made the first day and figure out where people are supposed to be in ensembles and all that, and they register literally the night before. Yeah. So, but we did have registration on Saturday, but had time to get that figured out. So
Yeah.
But yeah, the vibe on the first day is very much the people just don't know what to expect, and so they're kind of quiet, especially the younger kids.
Yeah.
They go from very quiet to very not.
Quickly.
Yes.
Okay.
Once they get comfortable.
So rehearsals the first day, how were you feeling about like your confidence levels? Did you feel that the music was challenging, not challenging? What were your thoughts on the music that you were given on the first day?
For me personally, being the first chair in a lot of the ensembles I was in, some of the music scared me. Reading tenor clef for the first time in a bit of a while was a bit frightening at first, but I know my confidence has gotten a lot better in the past couple months, and so I wasn't as scared as I thought I would be. However, the music was challenging, but it was amazing to play. I love the choices both of y'all picked for both orchestral excerpts, the ensembles.
We'll pay you for that comment later. We
Right.
appreciate it very much.
But the music was just challenging enough so you could have an element of fun and both challenging yourself and improving yourself on your instrument.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we're always that's a tough place to be, because from our perspective, what is challenging is way different than what would be challenging on y'all's level. So what was interesting to me is I didn't think too much about it until the weekend before. It was one of those things that, like, I was reading a book the other day, and he was talking about how Martin Luther King didn't even have that "I have a dream" part in his "I have a dream" speech.
Huh.
There was a lady behind him that was really well known, obviously, because she was like right behind him. And apparently he's just giving off this speech that he was editing on the way to the podium. And he gets to the podium, and this lady behind him screams, "Tell him about your dream." And then he just starts rattling off, "I have a dream, I have a dream," totally off script.
That's
So
crazy.
basically the point of what I was saying is, in that chapter, like, he's talking about how procrastination with intent to provide a good service or a good speech or what have you can turn out to be a good thing. So I feel like, had I overthought, wow.
There's a
Apparently
lot of
the
air
AC
conditioner on the
turned
face of the earth.
Finally.
So anyway, I'm happy with the music that I picked. Sometimes you just kind of roll with it. But I'll tell you what, the BAME Sextet is, like, y'all sound incredible. Like, your ensemble,
thank you.
ensemble sounds really, really good.
They're doing great.
Yeah.
They're doing great. That's one of those Hail Mary pieces where you just throw it, and hope they catch it.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed that one?
Yes, it's amazing to listen to. When I first listened to the first recording and playing it, it gives me a challenge both in the higher range sometimes and just managing my chops throughout the whole day. And it's just the interconnectedness of every single part is just great.
Yeah.
So
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
yeah.
So now, you've been attending some classes, right?
Yes, I have been attending classes.
The way the high school, actually everyone's attended a couple classes per day. What all have you attended? What has stuck out to you? What do you think?
I personally have been attending the Zen classes, conducting, and then the orchestral excerpts with Mr. Lee and Mr. Nobles that I auditioned into. The orchestral excerpts are challenging. Most of them are in tenor clef, again.
What
because,
pieces have you played in that?
Ein Heldenleben, a couple Mahler pieces. and-
Mahler's Second Symphony Chorale.
Nice.
which is just beautiful
It's
to
a
play.
lot of fun,
It's
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And then Ride of the Valkyrie.
Yeah, we worked on. It was funny. Mr. Lee, who's the tuba counselor here, he brings in. He had told me that he wanted to work on the Ride of the Valkyries, and it was kind of like a good one. And then he actually brought it in. And I was
You're
like-
not kidding.
Yeah, my whole heart sank. I was like, but. He did print off trombone 1, trombone 2, and trombone 3, and the second trombone part is in bass clef, so we could read through it.
Yes.
Because something about B major and tenor clef just doesn't really mix. Like, you look at an A sharp and tenor clef, and you're like, huh?
What is
What
that in?
position is that? Yeah, so. But yeah, I think that was another surprise, man. I think what's cool is, having students here like Allison, you can throw out music like that, where at most other camps it would be like, no, absolutely, that's not going to work.
Right.
But here you can actually have fun and make it work and give a challenge to the students, even to where they don't feel like they're overwhelmed, right?
Right.
So outside of orchestral excerpts, you did what else?
Conducting and Zen band.
Talk to us about Zen Band.
Zen band, I was quite questioning it whenever I first saw it on the list. I'm like, that's not really a band-related thing, I thought. It's just meditating. It's not really much. But actually going into the class curious to what it was, it taught us a lot about relaxation and focusing on our breathing, which is a huge trouble for me whenever I'm about to audition. It's just straight nervousness on the verge of a panic attack, just like sitting in the corner of the region room, hyperventilating slightly, casually.
We've all been there.
Everyone's been there. But focusing just on your breathing and relaxing yourself in a setting where it's the crazy band world where everyone's warming up around you. You hear a trumpet over there, a bassoon in one corner, and you're freaking out. It really helped me learn that I can just focus on myself and not worry about anyone else and just be confident in myself.
Yeah. That's awesome. So now the class was led by Lisa Hummel, and she took some effort to decorate the space beforehand with curtains and mirrors, and she has this harp in the corner and salt lamps, and she's got a stereo in there. And can you talk a little bit about how she used the environment for that?
She wanted to create a very relaxing environment where there wasn't a lot of negative energy. It was just everything was supposed to be positive. We used different hertzes. You know how we all tuned to 440?
Yep.
Some people, and back then it used to be like lower, I believe.
I'm not sure.
400.
I know
Yeah,
most
it's gotten
orchestras-
sharper over time.
It's gotten sharper over time.
Okay.
Well, those hertzes, she explained to us, those actually can be used for meditative purposes and help you focus. And so we listened to those tracks, and they were also played with music. So it wasn't just straight tone, out of tune A.
Right.
It was actually music that we'd listen to, and how it helped us be in tune with our body and how we felt emotionally with that music and how we can connect that back to what pieces we are playing and how that makes us feel emotionally.
Cool. Did you fall asleep?
Once.
Once.
I fell asleep.
It was so funny today. I happened to be in the choir room as they got out. Were you in that class today?
Yes, I was in the class today.
The kids it's like the look on their face. They were in freaking nirvana. I mean, just happy, sleepy, borderline zombie-esque. It's like
It's true,
they've
he's
been
not lying.
drugged. It was
Maybe
hilarious.
she's onto something here. Maybe if we really just want to maximize the school day, we could have like a lunch followed by a Zen period. Can you imagine being full on your lunch and then taking a Zen class?
So good. That
Gosh,
sounds
I'd
so
be
good.
out.
Wow,
Out.
that would be wonderful.
You know, they've done studies for kindergarten classes that if you have 2 to 3 recesses a day, the students learn better and more productive.
Yeah, I feel like they should take nap time from the preschoolers and kindergartners and put them in high school and college.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot more effective.
I honestly don't feel like that's something that's out of the realm of possibility because we're starting to realize that it's ineffective to dude, you try to get anybody to focus from 7 in the morning till 4 to 5 in the afternoon and then have after school activities and then try to get your homework done and then do it again for the next 4 days. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know anybody that can, like, I mean, there are people that can handle it. No doubt there are people that can handle it, but to try to get an entire population of kids to conform to that way of living is
Right.
I think it's going to become outdated. We're going to look back on it 50 years from now and be like, probably not the best idea.
Especially kids, though, because, like,
Yeah.
kids who are younger, they have so much energy and you can never get them down. It's just going to be rough on everyone. But having those extra recesses like that study showed you, it helps them keep their energy level down and keep them focused. Meanwhile, older kids generally don't have enough time to sleep. They're crammed with a lot of homework. And so that extra sleep time, they need, like, 10 to 12 hours of sleep a day
Yeah.
rather than the 6 or 7 that they might be getting. So
Right.
So, today we had Kevin Finnemore back. I say back. We had him here.
yes.
Yeah, it's the first time he's been here.
I feel like he knew does he know Dr. Adams?
Yeah, they've worked together before.
Oh, okay. They just seemed like they were friends, and I was like,
Well, he
Wow.
went out to Frisco and worked with the bands up there, or one of the sections or something that he was involved with.
so, Allison, you're back.
Back.
Tell us what it was like to get to work with him.
I was working with him with the trombone ensemble and the mixed brass ensemble, and there was lots of overarching concepts that he used with both the middle schools and the high schools, just like with dynamic contrast and how you can help that with your specific ensemble. So he used overarching concepts with everyone, but wasn't super nitpicky with everything. He knew if someone missed a note, they could fix that.
Right.
But it was more about style, articulation, the important stuff that makes a piece beautiful. And I really appreciated that. And it wasn't just like, okay, work on measure 17 over and over and over again, working on notes and rhythms, more about style and articulation. And I really appreciated that.
Right. How did it feel to? Because Kevin's a big guy. I'm not a big guy, but a big deal in the music field. How did it feel to play for someone like that?
I was very nervous when I first got onto stage, but
Right.
as trombones do, we went in the back and did something weird.
Yeah, y'all were doing like a seance thing over
Yeah,
on the side.
we did a little Zen band in the back to calm ourselves down. We used our skills
That's
from
awesome.
Zen band. It was great. It actually calmed me down, and I was more confident going out there. And I knew that if I messed up, I messed up. It wasn't the end of the world. So
Right.
That's great.
I just knew that I had to play with a confident sound, or else there wasn't going to be a good sound coming out of my horn.
Right. Right. That's the thing with live music. You know, it's like a fine leather. There are flaws. It's just the reality. It's the fake leather that doesn't have flaws.
I didn't know that because I'm not over the age of 30.
I'm under the age of 20. I don't know anything.
You jerk. The 30.
So we've got a recorded concert tomorrow night. We're supposed to be doing another episode tomorrow, if I'm not
Recorded?
mistaken.
Yeah, we're going to try to do that with possibly other people around watching, which may be a train wreck.
But we won't we won't know if it's going to be a train wreck unless we do it.
That's true.
A lot of
So-
the kids were excited. Like the middle schoolers, high schoolers, everyone was excited about the podcast.
Well, yeah. We're excited too.
Sit at the
think.
table. They do the live broadcasts of like radio shows, and they always say, "How's everyone doing?" You hear this. Blah! I can just imagine our middle schoolers going nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
So the other day I was out at dinner at a local place over, and I think I was in Louisville or something. And you had these big banners and big signs about they were recording a live podcast with an ex-Cowboys football player.
Huh.
And so, and the parking lot is full, but there's a lot of popular places around where we're headed into. And so, you're thinking what I'm thinking, which is we're about to walk into this crazy. And we've done 6 podcast episodes, so I'm like wanting to learn stuff and see
Right.
how they run it and everything. We walk in there, and there are 2 people watching this podcast
That's
with
tough.
2 people, and I was like, "Oh God!"
So do they
this
have
is
like
my
an applause
future.
track and a laugh track?
Yeah, you gotta have like that one of the people in the back like hitting the tracks.
We've already talked about getting an editor. We want to have like an on-site editor that can I don't know, do stuff like that.
Yeah, we can say, "Hey, Lenny, play that clip, number 4."
Like
Yeah.
clip
about
number
2 seconds
four.
in. into
Number
it.
19. Uh-huh.
And that's when we do political commentary, and probably
I'm
not.
going to stay away from the political
Probably-
commentary
that'd
for this
probably not be a
episode.
good
That's smart.
Let's wait till we get a lot of viewers, and then we can really dig into politics.
That's right. Then we'll
So we
alienate
can lose
everyone.
everybody.
Yeah. That's a
Local
good business plan.
podcasts goes sideways.
Oh, speaking of which, we had a question. We had a question email.
Yeah,
you
we
get
did
that?
get a question email. Do you want to do that?
Yes. And maybe so actually let's do a pre-introduction to we're shifting away from camp talk, and the last couple of weeks we've been talking about being a musician and finance. Right?
Right.
And so we've basically disbanded the myth that you have to be poor. It's virtuous to be poor.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
not.
know.
It just means that I think that's probably one of the most selfish things you can do with your life is be poor.
Yeah, especially if people are going to rely on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we wanted to. Another reason why we brought Allison on is because she is like she said, she's going to graduate in 2020, and then she's going to pursue music as a career. So let's hit Tom Neal's question first. So Tom Neal is a good friend of mine. He was the first trombone player I ever met at the University of Houston. And you ever hear those people play and you're like, oh my goodness, they're just freaking good. Like he was playing this etude. I don't remember which book it was out of, but it was just running eighth notes for the entire page, and it was all sounded like atonal sounding. Like it just was one of those etudes that you just hate to have to work on.
Right.
And dude, he was just nailing it. And it's like, oh well, welcome to university life where people can actually play trombone.
Right.
But the thing was
he sight reading?
No, he was not. But
Not quite. Okay.
Dude, he immediately took me in. He was really, really nice, and we became really good friends. And he lives over in Louisville now. But he sent in a question, and I can just hear Tom while I'm reading this question. It says, "Good morning, gentlemen. What a great service you're providing to the music education community. As a business intelligence developer, I never miss a single episode."
That's awesome.
Appreciate that very much. If I were 18 years old again, I would want to know more about the realities of making money playing my instrument. Can one realistically hope to make a living playing their instrument without also supplementing their income through other means, e.g. private lessons, entrepreneurship? As an 18-year-old hotshot trombone player, all I care about is playing all day, every day until my lips fall off, which is 100% true. I made Region Band my senior year, so probably by the time I get out of college, I'll be playing for the New York Philharmonic. What are the odds that I can make it playing full-time as my main source of income? You guys are doing great. I'm super jealous of your podcasting success. To be decided, to be seen. If you ever need somebody to be your quote-unquote third guy in the back room, we found him.
There's Lenny.
There you go.
There's the Lenny.
We found him. I'm happy
Hey,
to
Tom,
volunteer.
play that clip.
He would be, like, in all honesty, he would be the best
Right.
third guy in the back kind of guy. Like,
Yeah.
he's hilarious.
There's a separate camera. Just
Right
for
now,
him.
Kate's our person in the back because she was
Kate's-
talking
Kate's,
in
yeah.
the hallway. Hey, come over here real quick. Put your tuba down. Come over here.
You're on a podcast
You're
now.
on a podcast.
So wait, she's got to share your mic.
Okay, that's fine. Are you about to go home?
Yes, but I can spare like 2 minutes.
Okay, come spare 2
Okay,
minutes.
pause Tom's question. We'll get back to it.
Okay. You're going to use this mic as well. You want to grab a seat or something?
Grab a chair.
So we've got Kate. Kate is a tuba player at the camp. Apparently she's still here
She had a lesson.
an hour after the
got
camp.
2 minutes.
She just can't leave. So say hi, Kate.
Hello.
And get closer to the mic.
Hello.
There you go. that way the pretty people can hear you. So will you introduce yourself, instrument, grade, where you're from, etc.?
I am Kate Keeler. I am from Illinois, but now I live in Texas. And I play tuba in the Prosper Band, and I'm a sophomore, technically.
Awesome. And you decided to come to the camp. What's been your
Turn the mic.
huh?
Turn the mic.
Turn the mic.
Oh, gosh.
The
So
face.
picky.
The face has to face the face.
Do you edit this?
Yes, and
Okay.
there's also a camera right there that you can look into.
Oh,
Yeah, you're on camera. It's a hi.
Hi.
So what has been your perception of the camp so far?
It's, it's fun.
Great.
Yeah, it's fun, and my lips are dead.
Good.
Yeah.
This
Good.
means you're not practicing.
Now, is that
enough.
because people have been smacking you in the face, or?
No, that's because I've been playing a lot.
Okay, very cool. Have there been any highlights for you?
I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. The Bankel, the quintet. What is
D.A.
it?
Bangle Sangle Leader.
Yes.
D. Bankel
D.
Sanger leader.
D. It's D.
D-I-E
Die,
is D in
D,
German.
D.
Do you know what that translates to?
The
Okay.
Well,
probably
D
have
is
to go.
the, yeah.
the bank singer.
The bank singer song.
No, it's
Isn't
the
it something
Banker-
you used to
the
play
Banker
on the
song.
street?
What's a bank singer? Sanger is singer. Bankel Sanger. Bank
Bankel.
singer. Song
But
leader.
It's the Banker song, at least according to Google Translate.
Bank singer song.
Bank singer song.
All right, watch out for cameras. Oh.
Thank you, Kate.
Thanks, Kate.
All right, that should be like the press the clap button.
yeah, Tom, get on that, okay?
Okay, so back to Tom's
That needs to
question.
be a
Back to
running
Tom.
joke in
Mr.
the
Tom.
podcast from here on. Hey, Tom, will you play that clip for us? Oh, he's not here yet.
Not yet. So anyway, do you want to start
Wait,
out?
what's the question again? Okay, let me read it. Go ahead. You were reading.
Okay,
it.
so the first thing I would say, if you are 18 or if you're 16 or 15 or however old you are, and you're listening to this, the reality is that
Just make as much noise as you can, Kate.
Take your time. It's great.
the reality is that I don't know a single professional musician who hasn't had to teach somebody lessons.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty much reality. Is teaching's a part of music.
Yep. And if you don't want to do that, you probably shouldn't.
Well, you need
pursue
something. You just can't be all in the music field. Probably. I
Yeah.
mean, there are some people who do just play, but for thousands of years,
There are exceptions
music has
to the
been
rule.
transmitted from person to person through a teaching method.
So to answer the question, can one realistically hope to make a living playing their instrument without also supplementing their income through other means? No. We're going to put a no on that.
I'm going to say yes, with an asterisk.
Okay.
Because if you want a symphony job,
Yeah.
a full-time symphony job, you can play and not teach, and you could probably make a pretty good living. However, and this is the big but. You have to take 30, 50, 60 auditions to win that one job, and you need to come up with some sort of income until then,
Yeah.
and most likely that's going to be teaching.
Right. So, in general, if I feel like we can say it this way. If you're asking yourself, like you're looking yourself in the mirror and saying, can I realistically hope to make a living playing my instrument without also... If you're asking that question, the answer is probably no.
Right.
But there are some prodigies who, like the guy who won the London Phil job at 18, like
Right.
Crazy.
he probably wasn't asking that question. I mean, plus he was brought up in the academy since he was like 5.
Right.
Doesn't discount the fact that he's an amazing trombone player. But anyway, as an 18-year-old hotshot trombone player, all I care about is playing every day until my lips fall off. I made region band my senior year, so probably by the time I get out of college, I'll be playing for the New York Philharmonic. What are the odds that I can make it playing full-time as my main source of income?
Yeah. So here's the other thing. I think the spirit of the profession is one that you do lots of things. The arts in general is this way. It's very entrepreneurial, or it should be. If you don't get entrepreneurial about it, you starve. But you find your thing, you find your niche, and you do actually not just one thing, you do lots of things, and you put together this, we call it a portfolio career. So you could absolutely do it without teaching, sure, but you're probably going to be doing some playing, some arranging, or some maybe you work for a management company, or maybe you work in a music retailer store, or maybe you work in a recording studio, or maybe, there's lots of things.
Things in the realm of music that you can still do what you love,
Right.
but not quite as close as what you're going to achieve.
Yeah, but I don't know anyone who does just one thing.
Right.
Even take an outside of the norm music job. Let's say audio engineer. I don't know any audio engineer who just is an audio engineer that is successful.
Right.
They've got some side project that they're doing. That's just the nature of it.
Yeah. So to answer the question, no. And I think, for me personally, a large part of enjoying private lessons is just geography. Like the fact that we get to be in a community that likes success. Like we, as a community, Prosper is really big on that kind of deal. And the fact of the matter is that not all communities are like that.
Yeah.
And that's really unfortunate for those communities, but I think it takes an army of people to kind of change that. Prosper wasn't always Prosper. It took people like John Alstrom coming up here and changing the culture and shifting, and plus, having a population boom helps.
Right.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, to say that, and I think another way you could say, you could spin Tom's question is, will I really have to teach lessons for the rest of my life? Will I just be if I get a degree in trombone, will I just be a lessons teacher for the rest of my life? You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, no, that's a no also.
Right.
But do you have anything else to add?
Well, not outside of the whole portfolio concept.
Yeah. So let's
put a lot of
dive
things
into
together.
that. So Allison is planning, like we were saying earlier, Allison's planning on pursuing a career in music. So give us your thoughts on it. Like, what I know you have us as influencers, and that's great. But what are your thoughts? What are you scared about? What are you excited about? What are you looking forward to?
Personally, I want to pursue either music education or performance. I'm not quite sure at the moment. I might double major. I might just do one or the other. Not sure. I just know I want to go into the realm of music. So that's kind of scary in that essence, not knowing quite what you want to do, but
Right.
knowing the area around it. But I know and understand, since I've been on college tours, talked to a lot of professors, especially the trombone professors in the area, that a lot of the programs are very similar, the education and the performance, so that doesn't give me a lot of anxiety. But what does is the stigma around music education and performance being poor jobs.
Yeah.
I have people like who are very close to me being like, why are you doing that? You're not going to achieve anything in life by getting that. You're just wasting money. But it's good to have people around me who are very successful, such as you two and the band directors here at Prosper High School. They help me, they reassure me, and they help me understand, like, no, you're not going to be a poor person your entire life. You can be if you don't work hard, just as with any job, with any degree. But as long as you work hard, you're a good person, and you want to achieve success, you're going to be okay.
Yeah. Have you heard our last 2 podcast episodes? Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So we definitely covered those.
Whew, that was a scary
with the whole,
question.
like,
I
yeah.
haven't heard your last 6.
Do you know me?
Well, just, you're right. People
Here's your
make an
lesson
assumption.
homework.
They're like, you're going to be poor. You're never going to be successful. And I don't understand that. We can, decades, over 100 years, we can think of successful musicians. Right? I mean, I have shelves full of CDs of successful musicians.
What I think is what people generally associate music with talent and not hard work. And so
Right.
whenever they see just an average Joe that they know, they're like, oh, I don't see them as extremely talented and you can't work hard towards that. So
Right.
you're screwed.
Right.
Yeah.
The difference between the person who plays on the street that barely pays their rent and the difference and then the person who is on stage in front of thousands of people is not talent. It is absolutely not talent, because you can find street performers who are unbelievably talented. Juilliard grads in the subway stations that play just to make some extra cash. The difference is well, A, hard work, but B, knowing enough skills so that you can put together something. You know, because an artist that's on stage is a business. It's not the artist; it's the business. Take Beyonce. Well, it's not. You're not watching a concert with Beyonce. What you're watching is a production that is put under the business of Beyonce.
Right.
And she has over 100 people working for her behind the scenes that make her appear to be the person that she is. Whereas if you were to go backstage or just walk into her house and go, "Yo, Beyonce, what's up?" Because that's what I would say.
That was the
She's-
most gangster I've ever heard
Honestly,
you talk in my life.
she's I don't know this for sure, but she's probably not very exciting
She's
in
a
just
person.
personal realm. She's probably not. She may be kind of arrogant. I don't know her, but
All the Beyonce fans are just going to come screaming.
right, yeah, we're gonna get hate mail.
Emails, everything.
But she's probably not exciting.
She's a person. People aren't.
She puts her pants on the same way everyone else does.
Yep, one leg at a time, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's another thing too. So, like when you go into the music field, like you want to pursue a career in music, I think it would absolutely behoove you to be open to new possibilities. Like as I was thinking about it today as I was watching the second trumpet player of the Dallas Symphony teach some of my students. Like that's a cool thing to see. And all it was like we had an idea.
right.
And you follow that. Now, a lot of people have a lot of ideas. It's about having them and then doing what it takes to follow through with them. And then you can put stuff together like this that, hopefully these kids are able to take this and for the rest of their lives remember something about this camp whenever they're there. And then, continuing on what we're going to do moving forward, I'm sure all the things we're going to put together in the fall time, people have had ideas about it, but we're going to execute. We're going to follow through with it. I remember talking to you about this a year ago,
Yeah.
a long time ago. So let's kind of go back. So you're going to college, right? So what the big thing, this is like, presidential elections coming up, big issue is student debt. So let's talk to Allison about how she can avoid accumulating. Let's set a goal. Like obviously 0 is a little unrealistic. Would you agree? Unless you
Yeah,
can get a
probably.
fat scholarship. Which, if you can get a scholarship, get the scholarship.
Definitely.
Right? It's free money for you. Get the scholarship. A realistic number, I would say, is try to land below $20,000 in debt. How do you feel about
For
that?
all 4 years?
For all 4 years. What do you think? You can tell me I'm stupid and say 0.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Our whole college system is really
This is where the
wonky.
political stuff comes in.
because I think the idea of having no debt makes a lot of sense because when you leave college with $100,000 of debt, that's not good. I don't think anyone. That's
You heard it here first, folks.
man, brilliant.
Debt isn't good.
But I mean, that's a stupid financial decision to have $100,000 in debt.
That many people
And
have
that's,
made.
but that's only $25,000 a year, and every school is more expensive than that. So it's like, well, then actually that's normal, which is ridiculous. However, I'm also the guy who tells my students that they should not look at price when they apply to college. They should find a good school first. And then the last thing that they should look at is price when they're about to make their last decision. And I think maybe that's the healthiest way of going about it, is find a good school. Luckily, music is one of the most scholarshiped majors that there is. It's athletics, and then it's music. And so if you play your instrument well, they'll just throw money at you, these
Yeah.
schools. Brandon, who's going to SMU next year, he was looking at the price tag of SMU, and it is bonkers what SMU charges for an education. You look at the price tag and go, it was $25,000 a year when I applied. It's like close to $70,000 a year. 70 effing $1,000 a year.
What a little chicken sound there.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is more than most people make in a year. And when I applied, it was less than what most people paid in a year.
Yeah.
It's not, okay. I'm going on a rant. Anyway, so he looked at that and he had the same reaction that I did. He said, "Well, there's just no way that this is going to work because that is an absurd price." And I told him, I said, "Apply anyway, audition anyway, get accepted." And basically, what he found out is that after all the scholarships rolled in, because that's what happens, it was cheaper for him to go there than UNT.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
And he also is a monster trumpet player.
Yeah,
Crazy.
and you have to do that. You have to be good they have to want you. So when it comes to student debt and price, I don't know.
Would you suggest working while you're in school?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Every study that has ever happened has shown that your grades are better if you have a job in school than if you don't.
Yep. Fill up
Because
your calendar.
Yeah, you have to. I noticed my mic is a little turned.
Do you have bad breath? So work during school. We think. I work during school like all the time. And plus what's cool about being a musician is more often than not you can get a teaching gig,
Yep.
which pays a lot of money for a college student.
Yeah, the work study jobs are great. You know, I worked for the admissions office at the conservatory that I went to, and so the reason why those jobs are great is because they work around your class schedule. So you can show up, work for an hour, go to a class, come back, work for an hour, go to a class. And there's no job that would do that, and it's right there on campus. So, but yeah, I used to show up and I would open the applications as they would come in and file them. We had a filing system, and I would give tours to potential students, which was always great because I got a free lunch. And so, yeah, I'm a big believer in those on-campus jobs. Those are great.
Especially because they work around the busy college life.
Yeah.
And they keep you doing things.
Right.
Well, I think as far as stigmas go about, being in music, whatever, I think we've talked about it, that a lot of it's up here.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just the way you perceive who you are and what you're doing. And the fact of the matter is even through the businesses we've started and the real estate that you've got, I still understand this as a noble profession.
Mm-hmm.
Like it impacted my life in such a positive way. And the problem is that if you talk to an accountant, they just don't get it. Like they look at it and go, why would you do that?
Right.
Like, what's the point? It's just like they think we're like some Macy's Day Parade, East Mississippi band that that sounds like crap and looks like crap or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like you're teaching so many life skills through through music teaching. Mm-hmm. So I think you really do, in order to make this a career and a profession, you have to believe in what we do.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, there are so many directors that I know that just look miserable at their job. And anybody and I'm not saying that being a band director is like one of the jobs where you'll be miserable. I mean, to find any career, there will be people who are miserable. So know that you're passionate about it, and I think that should be the guiding light for you in your decision making.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And try not to go into, I would say, $20,000 or less.
If you can nowadays.
can.
I mean, it is tough.
20 to 40. Make your window 20 to 40.
It's really tough.
Don't be the six-figure debt person. That is just stupid, dude.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, get your playing up scholarship. And if there's a need for you at the university, that's the reason why I got the full ride to U of H, was because they needed trombones really badly.
Right.
So, if you can be an asset to the university, and you'll be fine. So,
Yeah.
I'm good to go. Are you good to go?
Yeah, I probably need to get home.
You look tired.
Dude, I'm exhausted. These days
camps.
are full.
Yeah.
I go home and just crash.
I go home, paint my room because I just moved.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of work.
Go to bed at midnight.
So,
Lit.
tomorrow, after the performance, which I'm guessing is going to be over around 7. So, I'll probably get here around 7 tomorrow. I'll leave 7.
Are you driving to New Mexico tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, and the L of
That-
the week goes to Michael Attaway.
Yes.
That's tough.
We're going to go on vacation, and my wife
You
wanted
might just
to
want
get
to
a
go
head
to bed like
start
right
on
now.
it.
Like just go home and go sleep.
I got to pack. And I got toddlers.
Oh.
So, but yeah, we're going to leave at like 8 o'clock and drive to Amarillo and get there God knows what hour, and sleep and then get up the next morning and finish the trip.
I drove overnight from Florida to Texas, so
Yeah,
I'm with you in spirit.
I'm okay when I'm rested going up to it, but I've been exhausted with this camp. I don't know how this is going to go. I may not be much of a help at all with the driving.
Well, good luck with that.
Thanks. Thanks.
All right,
Thanks.
signing off.
Sayonara.
Peace.
Auf Wiedersehen.